This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, straight out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada, with a glorious, beautiful Toronto background behind me because, well, I love Toronto, folks. And I love my guest. You see, I had her on last year. She's a stunt woman, and we are going to celebrate the 40th anniversary of A Nightmare on Elm Street. Yes, that burnt up, charred up Freddy Krueger turned 40 this year. He doesn't look it. Folks, I give you a stunt woman and somebody who, if you encounter, you best have your hall pass. Folks, please welcome Leslie Hoffman. How do you do, Leslie?
Hi. I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. You know, yeah, it's been a pretty hectic day. I hopped on here a little late, and I'm like, man, I have been up like the last 2 days, and I didn't hear my alarm go off. But you know what? Here we are, and we are good, and I'm thankful that uh we're able to do this. You're somebody I wanted to have back on, so
Aw,
happy to do this.
I appreciate it. And as you said, it's the 40th anniversary of Nightmare on Elm Street. And you're right. You're right. People look at me and there are three lines in that scene is where's your pass? Screw your pass. Hey, no, hey Nancy, no running in the hallway. And every time I see someone and they recognize me, I get to hear one of those lines and it makes them feel good. I mean, I'm impressed that 40 years later that they remember those lines. I'm
You
impressed that
know,
I remember those lines.
well, you know what? It's a very iconic part. Everybody, I mean, I've seen the movie many times, but still, that scene just stands right out. It's a great scene. I like that scene. And of course, you got Heather Langenkamp running in, and she knocks you down. Oh my goodness, you gotta learn to stand your ground. I mean, is she really that tough?
Yeah, actually, my nephew found I don't know if it's in an archive or something, but the original script from Nightmare on Elm Street. And originally the sweater was supposed to be yellow and red striped, which that was interesting. But I've always questioned the whole thing about the blood on my face. Uh
Oh, I
and
could tell you why.
Well, the script says the blood that comes from my nose after she knocks me down was from the impact. The blood that actually the script says the blood when I'm in the hallway was supposed to come out of my eyes and my ears, but they put it this way on me.
Yeah, because you were turning into Freddy Krueger, so that was what that was all about.
Oh,
But
I thought I was turning into Edward Scissorhand.
oh, you know what? Maybe you were. Imagine those two having a battle.
I mean, it's amazing. In other words, Johnny Depp and I both both have the claws.
We need a uh we need Johnny Depp from Pirates of the Caribbean versus Freddy Krueger.
I wonder
Uh,
if he would ever do that. I well, this is a rumor I heard is that I mean, he's still mad at Disney for
I don't blame
I'll call
him.
it blacklisting him. They made him guilty before they found out that it was the girlfriend or whatever she was.
Yeah, Amber Heard.
Liar.
Yep. Yep. Nope. Although I've seen video of him appearing at children's hospitals
Yes.
dressed like that, and I have a lot of respect for Johnny Depp, you know. So I
Oh,
feel
I
I'm,
do. I think he's taken such unusual roles in his career. I mean, he could have been a pretty boy, handsome hero in a bunch of movies. And I mean, like I say, Jack Sparrow, Edward Scissorhand, Sweeney Todd, and the voiceovers he's done are also not the ordinary, like I say, pretty boy hero characters.
I like them in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas as well. Yeah, Johnny Depp is an interesting character, and I don't blame him for being angry at Disney. You know, Disney kind of had that coming.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's well, I'm sorry. I'm about to go into history. Is I I still am upset that Cliff Robertson got blacklisted because one of the Universal execs got a Cliff Robertson check, I think for $10,000, cashed it somehow, and kept the money for himself. And when Cliff became public with that knowledge, uh, people stopped hiring him for a long time.
Yeah,
Hollywood is
but
not a kind place.
wow, I don't get it.
No,
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 this world's
flowers
going.
for argument. Now I can't say his name. Uh, oh, forget it. Uh, the one where well, you're not supposed to say mentally retarded, but the movie that he did was, I think, after the blacklist. I think that's when they allowed him to start working again. But
Yeah,
but it
um,
it made a hole in his career.
yeah, but
Anyways, kind of got way off the subject here,
no,
but
I see your point. I see your point. But anyway, you know, A Nightmare on Elm Street celebrating 40 years, you know, I put your name in for Frightmare in the Falls, and um I guess they didn't pick you, huh?
no, no,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
And this is
fine.
probably,
But the famous whatever, you close one door and another one opens. I'm going to be going to Ireland in November.
okay. Now, what convention is that?
It's not really a convention. It's a series of there's going to be private signing. I'm
Hmm.
going to go to a couple of hospitals as charity visits. We were talking about Johnny Depp before we started recording. Is that I will be at some of these charity hospitals to say hello to people that can't get out of the hospital or out of a facility. Um, uh, a comic book store is going to have me do signings, so fans will be at that one. Uh, and then the funniest thing is hamburger place is naming a nightmare. I don't know if they'll say on Elm Street, but they're going to name a hamburger after Nightmare on Elm Street because the owner loves Nightmare on Elm Street. So
Yeah.
Oh, I have a feeling I'm going to be driving all over Ireland. And on my days off, I hope to get to see a country that I've never seen before. I'm really excited.
Well, A Nightmare on Elm Street, I would have been 12 years old in 1984 when that came out. So I have since got to see that at a midnight screening. It's always nice to see them on the big screen. So uh, nonetheless, I tried to get you at Frightmare in the Falls because this may be my last year for that one, but but hopefully maybe we'll touch base at something, you know. So, but anyway, how do you feel 40 years of A Nightmare on Elm Street and you're still remembered for that iconic little scene?
Hey, for you to say you were only 12 years old when I was making A Nightmare on Elm Street I feel very old.
Oh, come on, you're what, 39?
Right, I've been 39 for, let's see, about 30 something years then. 31 years. I've been 39.
I just turned 52 last month, you know, and I'm feeling my age all the time. People say 52, you're just young. Yeah, live it. Yeah, but it's
It is interesting because if you look at pictures of my grandparents at my age now, I mean, they had white hair, they were bent over, they had their ills, and today's 50, 60, 70-year olds are today yesteryear's 40-year olds.
yeah, yeah. But anyway, I know I put your name in. I even at Chiller, you know, I put your name in. I put your because that was I just did Chiller back in April. And that's the first time I've ever been at a U.S. convention. Actress Lisa Langlois was doing that one, so I always assist her at these. But financially, it takes its toll on me, and that's why I got to kind of pull back a lot. And um, because I'm working like three cleaning jobs here right now.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's well, I'll tell you, since I've gotten back into the convention circuit, it's well, nothing like what you're describing, but you know, uh uh just answering people. I have an Instagram now and um doing promos. I mean, the day just gets taken up real quick. And also I'm very involved with the original Star Trek, I'll say series. So the original Next Generation uh Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, and that's where we stop, and the early movies, anything up to the first J.J. Abrams movie. Um, I am the administrator of a site for cast and crew of anyone from the earlier movies or earlier series. So, uh, believe it or not, I'm busy with that one too. I mean, sadly enough, well, this gets scary, is someone basically my age passed away, and I create obituary cards because I also have a memorial page connected to the Star Trek cast and crew page. But no, I love it. I'm busy and And other than upstate New York is getting washed away, I'm having a good time.
Well, you know what? It's funny you mentioned Star Trek because when I was at Chiller, I met William Shatner, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Expensive, the autograph and the photo, but I figured, you know what? I don't know when I'll have this opportunity again. Plus, my younger brother Andrew watches my cat Skittles while I'm gone, and he took care of our parents when they were terminally ill. So I got my brother a William Shatner autograph picture, and I got my picture taken with William Shatner, so we both win.
Oh, that's great. No, it's people watch. I think you understand this is people watch television shows or movies and they see a character at a certain age and they think the fan is that or that not the fan. They think the character or the actor is that age and what William Shatner's 90 something now.
Yeah, he was one of the big guests that was there, and he was only there for 4 hours on the Saturday. But Eddie Micah, who was one of the promoters for it, was really good with me. Number one, because of my association with Lisa Langlois, I was promoting her on the page on Facebook, and he sent me a private message and said they put me on the guest list due to my association with her. And I was like, you didn't have to do that, but thank you. And so I got in all 3 days, and but I met him on the Saturday because he's all over the place, and we're both cat lovers, and we chatted, and I asked him because William Shatner's line was going straight out the door. And I said, how much is William Shatner? And he said he did not know. And I told him, I said, I told him the situation with my younger brother. And I said that would have been the autograph I would have got him. He put me right in the front of the line. So I thought that was
That
pretty cool.
was really nice. That
Yeah.
was really nice.
So it didn't matter what the cost was. He did that, so I was fully in. Um, and I did this with Carrie Elwes from Princess Bride. I got my brother the autograph picture, and I got my photo taken with the person, so we both win. You know, so
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
I try to bring my brother back something when I go to these. So yeah, but so far for a Nightmare on Elm Street, Nightmare in the Falls hasn't really like they announced Mark Patton from A Nightmare on Elm Street 2 and the Freddy Krueger who was the one of the variations of Freddy Krueger anyway from A Nightmare on Elm Street 5 got announced and I'm like, yeah, are you bringing people in from the original? But I'm not here to complain, you know? I mean, uh,
things like I say, I things will happen.
yeah,
That will happen when they happen, and I have to take that attitude with I guess life in general is um it's so amazing. I would say 99.9% fans on Instagram or Facebook love me, and yet that 0.1% it's like uh well, I unfriended a person because he said I wish my brother was dead, and the brother isn't even sick. He just wanted his brother dead, and I unfriended him, and he just started attacking me that I unfriended him. And well, I won't go in.
Wow.
Yeah, I won't go into the whole thing, but you have fans and you have fanatics. And most people are fans and they're friendly and I love talking to them. And you just get a couple of these real fanatic people that you either have to ignore or you try to talk to them, or it just comes to a point that you just have to ignore them and realize that 99.9% of everybody loves you.
Yeah. Well, I remember it was Tommy Kovac that connected us, and he always spoke very highly of you. So,
Ah,
yeah. But yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street turning 40, and that was a pretty innovative movie for when that came out. So, especially for horror films. So, uh, and Robert Englund's still doing the convention circuit. I've never met him, but
uh, you may want to meet him real soon because I've heard rumors that he's about to retire out of conventions.
I don't know. It depend like it's gotten to the point with me where it's harder, and I gotta pace myself better for it. But um, so a lot of it is financially. Like when I go, I find I spend more than I should. Yep. When I did Frightmare in the Falls last year, I met 31 of the guests. And I'm like, boy, Greg, what are you doing to yourself financially? And of course, I create memories and stuff, and that's fun. I went to Chiller, which um, I met 21 of the guests,
Uh-huh.
and they had somewhere about 75 guests there. And I've had people on there joking with me saying, gee, did you meet everybody? And I'm like, no, and I can see why they said it because it's unusual for somebody to meet so many people. But I love getting the autographs. I love meeting the talent, and I love seeing if I can make connections to get people to come on my show. But it where it becomes complicated is when I get to pay the Visa bill afterwards, and
Right.
yeah, so I got that now sorted and everything. I got everything paid up, but it's like I got to because I don't have a roommate outside my cat, and I got to make sure because that's why I'm working three jobs. So I got to better pace myself. So,
A
but
lot of
anyway,
a lot of
yeah.
this again is a once in a lifetime chance. I'm going to be doing Horror Hound in September, and Robert's supposed to be there. And I really want to, without looking like a fan, I really would love to get some behind the scene pictures with him. In
Does
other
he
words,
have his
not go up to his desk, but if we're on a panel or something and we're waiting to get on the stage, I'm hoping to get a picture of me with him, and that would be really nice
does
because
he have does he
I
have his
want to
hall
have the
pass?
memory of without him. Uh, well, how do you say it? Without him and his voice dubbing in over my mouth, that scene wouldn't be as iconic as it is. I mean, that is what scared most of the people was when I opened my mouth and his voice comes out and says, "Hey Nancy, no running in the hallway."
So is Robert going to have a hall pass?
I'll ask him. I don't think I'll demand him to have one, but I'll ask. No, it's very, I don't know if we talked about it at the first interview, but I never knew the whole story of well, going from the beginning, the shooting of that scene. Wes Craven comes up to me and he almost looks like he's gonna cry. I mean, stunt people don't get copies of scripts. I mean, we're brought in, you fall down or you do whatever you have to do and you go away. You don't get a full script. So Wes comes up to me for the whole, not the push me down scene, but well, he came up to me for that one too, but the no running in the hallway. And he goes, Leslie, like I say, almost tears in his eyes. Leslie, I just want you to know that your voice is not going to make it to the screen, but I need you to say the words so the actor can dub in his voice. And and he walks, and I need you to wiggle the claws and do a sinister laugh. And he walks away, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm a stunt woman. I don't really care if my voice is on the screen or not. um, I mean, my at least I got to say, "Where's your pass?" So my voice is in the movie.
Yeah, yeah,
But then at a convention years later, I meet Robert, and I'm talking to him, and he's telling me that he was in New York City at the time, and they took him to this really old recording studio. The headsets were made out of leather. I know. He just made it sound really dingy, but that is where he saw the scene and had to dub in, "Hey Nancy, no running in the hallway." He and it comes out wonderful on the film. I mean,
yeah.
it's he fantastic timing. He had it down perfect.
Well, you had it down perfect too, you know. I mean, that the image of you with the claw, you know, and whatnot, or even the image of you on the floor where you look annoyed. Like people remember that. So I'm glad you're getting to do some conventions. You deserve it.
Yeah. Oh, well, another trivia thing about the original A Nightmare on Elm Street. Uh, is the sweaters that we wore had the stripes in the body, but the sleeves were red, solid red. There were no stripes on our sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to mention his name, but I was showing a convention picture, just to get an opinion from a stuntman who does conventions of this of the hallway one, where I'm holding the claws up. And he said, "Where did you," however he said it, "where did you fake this picture?" And I go, "Fake this picture? This is a screen capture." He goes, "No, it's fake." I go, "Why do you think this is fake?" And he goes, "Well, you have no stripes on your sleeves." So he's the one who doesn't know anything about A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Well, here's the thing. I heard in that original film the sleeves were different than in other films.
Right. They
Yeah.
had stripes at any Nightmare 2, 3, and whatever, all the nightmares after that. Well, the story I heard was they could not find anything that looked like the original sweater. They could not find stripes on the body and solid red sleeves. All they could find was stripes, you know, on the whole sweater. And it became that sweater, and people identify with that sweater, but they really have to look at the original to see what the sweater looked like that he and I wore.
Yeah. Yeah. You go see Heather Langenkamp at the convention?
Uh I'm not sure how many original cast members are going to be at Horror Hound. I mean, I'll find out when I get to Horror Hound.
She better have her hall pass.
Right. I'll make them all give me a hall pass. Or maybe I should print up some and hand them out, and that way I could say,
You
okay,
know what?
they're
That's a
all good
great
now.
idea. That's a great idea. Actually, I'm good friends with Nancy McLaughlin from Friday the 13th, Part 6.
Uh,
And she's got an Etsy page. She's done Jason medallions. She got t-shirts. She got beanie hat. But in her scene, when her character dies, she's in a puddle and at the side of the road, and she has an American Express card in her hand because she's trying to pay Jason off.
uh-huh.
And we got talking because she had done Chiller last year, and she was asking me what Lisa Langlois does in terms of merch at her table because I assist Lisa, and one of the things that we talked about was Nancy doing up her own American Express card because that's what's floating out of her hand during that scene, and so she did these
Oh, that's
Americans.
great.
Yeah.
Well, one of the merchandise that I have, I don't know if you're able to put me on pause or not, but I have a figurine of myself now. Uh,
Do you?
would you like to see it?
Yes, absolutely.
Like I say, if you want to put me on pause or if you just want things running, I'll try to grab one real quick.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just do a little commentary while we're waiting for you.
Okay.
Well, folks, A Nightmare on Elm Street turning 40 this year. Leslie Hoffman's going to get a figurine. And yeah, I'll pause for a moment. Folks, you can go on Etsy and look up Nancy McLaughlin from Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. She's got Jason medallions on here there. You can get your American Express card. You can get beanies or toe hats and t-shirts. Ah, here we are, folks. This is going to be
So,
interesting.
anyways, uh-oh, it seems to be out of focus.
Hmm.
Why am I in focus? And that, there we
Oh, there
go.
we go. Right there, right there, right there. Oh, wow. Look at that. That's a great looking figure.
Yeah, yeah. So you too can own me, and I can autograph it. You know, for anyone who's interested in it. But just like the Federal Express card, I just thought uh a figurine of me would be something that people would like.
Yeah. Well, in this right here, she's got her face from the movie right there in the middle. Her character's name was Lisbeth. So instead of Jason Lives, she's got Lisbeth Lives. And it says, don't leave home without it. So that was something she came up with talking with me about preparing for Chiller. And so yeah, you should do up some hall
I
passes.
I should do a well. Again, I would only do it for probably the original cast, but I should probably do something like "Here's your pass" or something.
You should do a bunch to give them to for fans.
It's an interesting thought.
And
I'll
even
I
have
have to
your an image of your image from the movie on the hall pass.
yeah,
Yeah, and have a little fee on them, you pay so much and you get a hall pass and you can sign it.
that is an interesting idea. I like it. I mean, I do have convention pictures. Like I say, I've
Yep.
I have where Nancy and I are, we're just hitting. I have me on the floor. So that one I usually autograph. Where's your pass? Um, I have the famous hallway, scene. And then I have a montage where, like as you say, the picture of me in the middle and other pictures around it. But that's interesting about something that would say here something like the official hall monitor pass or something like. I gotta think about it.
I think fans would like that, you know? Yep, because you put a small fee on it, fans could get it, you could sign it. But yeah, it'd be like a hall pass, maybe have like an image of you on the hall pass and underneath it could say Leslie Hoffman's hall pass or your hall pass or whatever it says. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
or
think that
I
would
have
be
to go
brilliant.
back to the movie and see if they ever give a name for the school.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I need to see if she goes to the school. I can't remember if they ever gave the school a name, but that's what you really need is you need to have something school hallway pass and then a picture of me and maybe something underneath that.
Maybe they call it the Heather Langenkamp School of Detention.
I don't think so.
Or Amanda Wiss wandering around in the hall in a body bag. But nonetheless, you've done a lot of stunt work in a various amount of movies. I'm just bringing your IMDb page up here, and one I haven't listened to the last interview, but I'm going to throw up a few names because you doubled for Wendy Jo Sperber, and I Want to Hold Your Hand, and unfortunately, she's no longer with us. Um, I had Nancy Allen on here, and she does the charity that the cancer charity We Spark.
Wendy
Yeah,
died of breast cancer, and Nancy Allen started. Well, I don't know if Wendy said something to Nancy or Nancy did it on her own, but We Spark is Wendy just saying, laugh, laugh is the best medicine. Sh talk about years. I can't even, I'd have to look back to see what year she passed away from the breast cancer. But I mean, she was younger than me when I first doubled her in I Want to Hold Your Hand. And I doubled her in the television show Private Benjamin. I doubled her in 1941
yeah.
and I doubled her in stewardess school. I mean, she requested me. That's how good of a double I was for her. Or when, well, this is the funniest thing, is uh, people saw I Want to Hold Your Hand when I jump out of the moving car and jump up and make the phone call. People say or have asked her if that was her who did the stunt, and she says yes. Or another time, and I don't know what stunt it was, I was flying back from Los Angeles to New York to visit my parents, and I walk into a magazine store, and they're doing interviews. I have a feeling it was 1941. Uh, so there are these pages of the different actors and an interview. And in Wendy's interview, she says she did all her own stunts. And I just go, gee, I wonder what I got paid for.
Wendy is so funny and went too young, and Nancy Allen was in both of those films as well. And I was very lucky. Like I done a tribute interview on George Leto, where I had George Leto's the producer of Dress to Kill. Um, I had his daughter on the show here, and she connected me with um, Nancy Allen. I'm so happy to get Nancy Allen on here, you know. So we talked a bit about We Spark and Wendy Joe Sperber, and I made a donation to We Spark as well. And but but yeah, that's a funny movie. I've had Eddie Deason on here, who's in both of those films as well. So
Well, I actually find the comic stunts, a lot of times those are also the most dangerous ones, but I
hmm
enjoy the comic stunts as opposed to the drama stunts. Uh, because they're fun. I don't know, they're fun to watch. I don't, just like well, back to I Want to Hold Your Hand, is that Wendy's going, I know the answer, I know the answer.
I
Stop the
remember.
car, stop the car. And they won't stop the car, so she jumps out to make the phone call to try to get the answer to win tickets to go see the Beatles. um I actually also played myself in two different spots in the movie. When the limousine gets to New York, the fans rush the limo because uh, um, forgot his first name, DeChico, I think it is, rolls down the window and he has the wig on and he goes,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, I want to hold your gland. and and it's like 700 700 waivers, not even union extras, just rushed the car, and there were only 3 stunt women that were supposed to be on the car, and all of a sudden we have these people running and jumping on top of the car as well. That was more dangerous than the stunt. I mean, finally, I think maybe on the third take, they still they still wouldn't listen. But on the third take, at least they didn't jump on the car, and the car kind of jumps the curb and goes down the sidewalk. And I'm one of the 2 girls on the back, and I slide off onto the ground. And then the other scene is at the Beatles uh, performance. I actually faint and roll down the staircase. That's me. So, so I played 2 of myself, probably not the same self, and
hmm
plus I doubled Wendy jumping out of the car.
yeah. Now, I know we talked, like sent you a few antidotes of what I was going to talk to you about, and there's a few films I want to discuss, and one of them, of course, is Hero at Large, and yeah, and you were kind of surprised I mentioned that, and John
I
Ritter playing a superhero.
I worked with John Ritter on Love Boat,
Uh-huh.
but I don't remember meeting him on A Hero at Large. All I remember was sitting on a fire escape platform with you in the middle of the night, and we were freezing. It was cold. That's about all I remember about that night. I don't even remember the stunt. I don't remember if we got rescued, or I assume we did, but I haven't seen that movie ever since it was filmed.
I've heard great things about John Ritter.
He was on, this is a crazy story. So on a Love Boat, I did a 78-foot fall to water, and this young actor walks up to me afterwards and says, that was a great stunt you did. And I said, thank you. And I mean, I didn't know who I was talking to, but I'm polite. I mean, if someone gives me a compliment, I'll say thank you.
Hmm.
That night I go home, I turn on the television set, and a new show called Three's Company starts. It's like premiering. And on walks John Ritter. And I'm going, oh my God, I was speaking to John. John Ritter complimented me on a stunt. And he's the star of a show, of a sitcom.
Yeah.
That was my one time meeting John Ritter.
You were busy in 1980 with Hero at Large. You had the nude bomb, and you have one of the best films of the year, Airplane. Oh man, I love Airplane.
Yeah, now that's interesting too. That was Conrad Palmisano was the stunt coordinator, and he put the nose of a fake airplane on the back of a flatbed truck. We were on a soundstage, and
Hmm.
they had the terminal glass windows, and on action, there's about 20, 25 stunt people there. On action, he puts the truck in reverse and runs the nose of the plane through the window,
Yep.
although jumping out of the way as this nose of the plane comes in through the window.
Yep.
Oh, well, that uh, I guess talking about stunts to a stunt person is that so they reused that clip on Fall Guy, I think it was, and they paid some of the people, is what I found out, but I didn't get paid for reuse of film. And I call up SAG, and this representative says, well, we had the stunt coordinator come in and point out who the stunt people were. Well, I said I was there too. I was one of the people. He said, well, tell you what, I will review the film and decide whether or not you should be paid for that claim. I said, you don't even know what I look like. How are you going to review a piece of film, and identify me? Anyways,
Wow.
that was a vent.
And then you, of course, you did Motel Hell that year as well, you know. I had Nancy Parsons' daughter come on here and tribute to her, you know, and I've heard great things about her, but Motel Hell channeling that Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. I was hoping you were going to say something that I could hear. Which
Oh,
movie?
Motel Hell.
Oh, Motel Hell. Yes, I doubled the sister.
Yeah, I was saying I had
Oh, okay.
her
I'm
sister
sorry.
on here in tribute, or her daughter, excuse me, on here in
Yeah.
tribute to her. Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of silly. What happened with that is that I was supposed to be drowning the girl, and I was wearing a wetsuit. And they're saying, "Can't you um get under the water?" And the wetsuit would not allow me to submerge completely. It just, you're like a cork when you're wearing, if there are no weights on your wetsuit, you're like a cork. You're just on the surface. So I'm doing my best to get underwater, but I just could not submerge. Oh, that water was cold that day.
I
Here we go
bet.
again. That was cold. Leave it to Hollywood to film something when the scene is supposed to be that it's really hot and you're freezing to death, or it's supposed to be really cold and it's 120 degrees in Los Angeles.
Well, you would go on to work with Wes Craven, but of course, before that, like you worked with Brian De Palma for Blowout. Of course, I had Nancy Allen in it as well.
That was well, I did I Wanna Hold Your Hand, and then later I did Blowout with and here's Nancy Allen. It's like, hmm. And she was actually married to De Palma at that time, but they got divorced.
I don't know why they got divorced, but to me, Nancy Allen was so sexy and dressed to kill. I remember. But what were your memories of De Palma?
Again, I was in a large crowd scene, so I really don't have any one-on-one stories that I can tell you. I mean,
Hmm.
when a director's doing a big crowd scene, he probably has a megaphone or maybe he has assistants yelling, you here, you there, okay, and then you might hear action and like you say, again, no personal one-on-one stories.
So, yeah, and I remember there was a big crowd scene in that. Now, I gotta say, and I'm guilty of this, I've not seen Johnny Dangerously, but of course, that was done by Amy Heckerling, who was uh one of those female directors that come into prominence with Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Again, now that was sometimes stunt people get called in and you don't get used. And unfortunately, I mean, I did get paid, but they decided that the actress was going to throw the punch as opposed to having me do it.
now I heard rumor we're going to have a new Clue movie come out. And of
Really?
course, yeah, there's rumors of that.
I I don't know. I'm against remakes. I it if
It
some
depends on the film. Um, the remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers in 1978, that's got to be one of the rare exceptions. Well, the one with Donald Sutherland. I saw that at an outdoor screening here about a month ago, and after Sutherland had passed, and that's one of those few remakes that really knocked it out of the park. But it is rare. You are right.
yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, if it was a classic the first time, leave it alone. Let the classic stand. Um or I don't other things that I don't like is um okay, just flew out of my head. Oh, where they'll give a movie the same name and the story you go to the movie because you hear the name of the movie, but you watch the movie and it has nothing to do with the original movie. It's not the same story anymore.
Like that really pathetic 2019 version of Black Christmas was awful. Had nothing to do with the classic original that was shot here in Canada. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, and you have Toronto in the background. Is I always find it funny when they film now, this is not remakes or anything like this. This is just filming a movie. Is they'll film a movie like in Toronto, and in the movie, the script will say they're in New York City. Come on. That background doesn't look anything like New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't tell me I'm looking at New York City. I know what New York City looks like, and it doesn't look like that. I
Now,
mean, that's not I don't know what to call it. It's just I just don't understand when they use a different city background and then they try to convince the audience that this is a different city we're at.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's been done many times. Now, of course, you got to work with Wes Craven again with Deadly Friend. Now, I've met Christy Swanson a couple of times at the cons. You know, I've never had her on here, but you got to work with Wes Craven again. That must have been a pleasure because I know you got along well with him. You doubled Ann Ramsey, who had that great basketball kill.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, we're gonna hit you in the head with a basketball. Oh yeah. No, you're supposed to duck out of the way before you get. Oh yeah. No, I love Wes Craven. If you were to ask me who is my favorite director, it is Wes Craven because he always came up, explained the scene, told you what he wanted, and after you filmed the scene, he came up to you and said, "Thank you." Now, how many directors have you had come up to you and say thank you?
Well, I'm
And
not an
and on
actor.
top of it, he gives me double credit on A Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm listed as the home guard, and then
Hmm.
under stunts is my name as well. So you see Leslie Hoffman twice in the credits at the end of the movie. I mean, back in the 80s, it was hard enough for stunt people to get a credit, period. And Wes gave me double credit. I mean, he just a wonderful. Well, you know, we've been kind of talking about people that are no longer with us, but just a wonderful person, and just left us way too soon.
And of course, you know, we mentioned Airplane earlier. You also get to work in The Naked Gun. How funny is Leslie Nielsen?
Well, that was funny. It was because we happened to spell our name exactly the same, Leslie, and I'm on the set. Well, actually, I walk onto the set and Ricardo Montalban walks up to me because I worked with him on Fantasy Island several times. And here is a movie star from the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and he remembers my name. He comes up
Wow.
to me and says, "Hi, Leslie." Anyways, I mean, amazing. So back to Leslie Nielsen. Uh, so all day, you know, they're calling Leslie to the set. Well, they mean Leslie Nielsen. And we finally get up to the stunt, and they say Leslie to the set, but they mean me this time. And Leslie comes over to my table and he goes, "Leslie, that's a nice sounding name." I wish I could have thought of a snappy comeback, but I really couldn't. And all I could say is, "Yes, I think so, Leslie." And he really did have a whoopee cushion.
I've heard
He,
that.
he would stand next to people, and all of a sudden you hear this. No, he was wonderful to work with as well. And it was, again, it was nice, it was amazing and nice for Leslie to even walk up to me and even joke about our names.
Oh yeah. I've heard good things about him as well, you know, because he played it straight, and that's what made it so funny, you know.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's interesting because now here we have that double connection is I didn't see him in Airplane, but we worked together technically in Airplane and Naked Gun. I mean, so we were in two different movies together. But like you say, I didn't see him on Airplane, but definitely saw him on Naked Gun.
And of course, you doubled for Doris Roberts and Christmas Vacation. I love the vacation movies in general, you know, Chevy Chase. And of course, you know, Doris Roberts left us not too long ago, but
Yeah, no, again, we're talking about people that just are no longer with us. It's really sad. Um, I doubled Doris Roberts on a television show called Remington Steele.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I was a good double, and I guess she was very pleased with the stunts. And she requested me on Christmas Vacation. I mean, so that's the nice thing is that, you know, there are some actors and actresses that they know when they got a good thing in a stunt double, and they will say, "I want this person to double me."
It's
Or
kind
a
of like,
really good stunt coordinator will ask an actor or an actress, "Do you have a regular double?" I mean, I think that's really nice of the stunt coordinator when they do ask that.
well, I know I've had stunt woman Lisa Hoyle on here a number of times, and she reflected on something that Christina Applegate was told. She said I guess Christina Applegate was advised to keep hold of Lisa Hoyle. And of course, Lisa Hoyle would say that Christina Applegate was one of her favorite people to double for. So
Yeah,
she did it a lot. Yeah,
yeah. No, you I guess I guess it's two things. Is obviously you know you did a good job, and number two, how nice of them to even stand up on behalf of you and say, "I want this person to double me."
absolutely. Now, I got a couple more films I want to bring up to you. Of course, you mentioned, of course, off phone or off interview, you've mentioned Scream 2, and of course reunites you again with Wes Craven. So, and you were of course were involved in a scene where you were being bombarded with pillars.
I swear, well, that was the third film that I did for Wes, and I swear that he tried to kill me in that scene. I mean, I got hit in the head with a beer bottle, and then Neville's character is cutting the ropes to what's holding up the props and the lights. So a light fixture falls down, and I gotta jump out of the way, and a pillar falls over, and I gotta jump out of the way, and then I'd start climbing up this it's made out of huge styrofoam blocks, and I start climbing up this wall, and the wall gives way, and these blocks fall on top of me. Now it wasn't heavy, but it was so many blocks that when they finally yelled cut, they had to dig me out of underneath all these blocks. Like I say, I mean, I was, again, not heavy, but just pinned under the beneath these blocks. But it was fun. And then I gotta call it a small fight scene. Is like she starts running towards the edge of the theater, and then she turns back, and or I may have this a little mixed up, but she has a knife, and she's trying to stab Neville, and she stabs one of the styrofoam blocks. So I did that as well. But again, it just, and afterwards he just says thank you. I mean, it he could really spoil people because he was a director that said thank you.
And of course, the last film I want to bring up is one that's turns 25 this year, and I can't believe it because I saw this in theaters. 1999 was a great year for movies for me because I've got a lot of movies on Blu-ray from that year, and I got so many memories of movies I saw that year. And of course, the summer of 1999, I saw a little movie called Mystery Men, which was a great concept. I thought had a very funny concept to it, and in a way, it kind of I just kind of thought of this, kind of puts me in mind of Hero at Large, because you get a regular person taking on the role of superheroes, not realizing what they're getting themselves into. And of course, in the case of Mystery Men, they had such weird gimmicks for superheroes.
I'm right at the very beginning of the film, so the rest of the story, I mean, I sort of know what happens. They do interviews and things like that, and as you say, they're trying to be superheroes, and they really don't have any powers to speak of. But I was like, I don't know, retirement home was having a party or something, and I was riding one of those scooters and in a circle with a bunch of other stuntmen and stunt women, yeah, like electric wheelchair and, like you say, the scooter. And then the bad guys come in and we're ducking underneath the table and things like that. But again, I forget which stuntman it was, but it didn't even connect in my mind that Hank Azaria is Apu in The Simpsons. It's that, he's pointing over to the sky and he's saying, "Oh, that's Apu." I'm going, it is? Oh, it's great. So sometimes you work with people and I mean, you don't have 100% movie knowledge or let's say voiceover character movie actors, and here's the human being, and then you're told, oh well, they're the voice of, and whoever they're the voice of. But yeah, that was a fun day too, and it was kind of interesting because um well, as you say, it's in the 90s already. I started doing stunts in the 70s. um so the retirement home stunt people happen to be, I'll say, my peers from the 70s and 80s. So it was really nice to work with, I'll call it, older stunt people. I don't know if did you ever work with May Boss?
No, I'm not an actor, so
Oh, okay. Well, she was a stunt woman, but um no, it was really nice, like you say, to work with really people that were working the same time that I was working. But yeah,
uh,
no, that was a fun movie. The only thing is that there was a, I don't know, Star Trek and Mystery Men, they love smoke. I mean, I don't know. I guess it gives the camera a certain look or something, but boy, you know, breathing in beeswax or whatever artificial smoke is just, it can really get to you. Or um I used to wear contact lenses, and on 1941, uh the smoke actually permeated my plastic contact lenses, and gave me a double eye infection. I mean, you just, what, you really, you really got to wonder when you're in front of the camera and you're breathing in this stuff and you look at everyone behind the camera and they're all wearing, masks over their faces so they don't have to breathe in the smoke. You go,
yeah.
something wrong here.
Yeah. No, I just had an eye operation this year. I had a retina uh, operation, so I had cataract operation after that, but I'm doing a lot better now. So First half of the year was a bit rough, but I'm still working. I'm still doing my thing. So yeah. So you got some things that you want to promote on here, upcoming events. You want to plug and promote them again and advertise your social media and web pages on here so people will know where they can contact you and purchase merch.
Um, well, I would Instagram, it's the underscore Leslie underscore Hoffman. Uh, Facebook, there's a Leslie Hoffman horror page. Uh, I'm going to be at Horror Hound. I'm going to be whoops, let me I feel like I'm missing one. Uh like I say, I'm going to be in Ireland in November. Uh I'm going to be at Napa Horror Fest in Pennsylvania October 5th. But yeah, it's so, and I've been in Ottawa this year. It's just uh I just hope that the fan base, well, I think the fan base is there. I just hope the promoters realize that I'm worth being a guest at their convention, and that they will request me.
Well, you know what? I'm working on getting you into some, you know. I put your name out to Frightmare in the Falls. Horrorama is not happening again this year, so but nonetheless, Frightmare in the Falls, I think one of the people I requested is going to be there. But I've had a few of you have asked me about that, and I can pitch your name and hope for the best. And but I'll see what I can do for you. I still get your back.
I really appreciate it. You've been wonderful.
I try. I try. Anyway, anything else you want to plug and promote before we close off?
Um, just that, I have these pretty much I've said it all. Is I have these
Hmm.
conventions. I have the figurine that I showed you. I have pictures from Star Trek where I'm dressed up as Torres, B'Elanna Torres from Voyager. I have pictures from Nightmare on Elm Street, and I have some other Star Trek pictures from Deep Space Nine, and they're all for sale. Just contact me, and I what okay, this is the again, I guess this is a personal thing, is I don't necessarily believe in COAs, certificate of authenticities, because you could write a COA saying that this is absolutely Leslie Hoffman's signature, and yet you could have signed the picture. You could have printed the picture and signed the picture.
Yeah.
So what I do, or what I've been told to do, is that when someone buys something from me online, and I'm mailing it to them, I have someone take a picture of me signing the picture. So either I'm signing the picture or I'm holding up the picture. Also, if there's going to be a tracking number, I will send them the tracking number to that. So I try to make sure that I'm connected with anything that I sell to people. I mean, I can't promise you what's on eBay, but what I sell directly, I make sure that you know that I signed it and I'm sending it to you.
Kelly Maroney does that too. Kelly Maroney from Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Night of the Comet in Chopping Mall. She uh we'll send a photo of her holding the object up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, um, I'm trying to think. Well, someone sent me a Balana Torres figurine where Roxanne Dawson had signed it, but this guy is very aware that there are stunt people, and he mailed it up to me to have me sign it as well. And as you said, is I took a picture of me holding the figurine. I mean, you can't fake, well, who knows? Nowadays you can fake anything, but I would really hope that uh and if it's somebody on Facebook, I'll even send them in other words, the object may already be in the mail, but I'll send them the picture of me signing the object that's being mailed back to them. If they send something to me, like I say, if it's a photograph that is mine and I'm signing it, I'll still sign it and well, like the picture of the hallway is, as opposed to "Hey Nancy, no running in the hallway," I might write "Hey Greg, no running in the hallway." I mean, that personalizes it to
Yeah.
you. And I'll ask a person, do you want it said that way, or do you want it to be the real line, be the Nancy line? And I'll say most everybody just, I guess they get a kick out of having their name saying,
It
"Hey,
is
so and
it
so,
is
no running
cool.
in the hallway."
Yeah.
And I always do it with a picture to show you that I signed it.
Well, Leslie, it was wonderful having you come on here today, and hopefully, I'll be able to meet you at a convention. I think that would be awesome. You know, I think you should definitely look into doing the hall pass thing at convention. I think that would be a hit, you know. So,
Yeah. I really like that idea. I gotta think about that. About maybe, well, someone said, "What school even has hall passes?" I mean, my school didn't have a hall pass,
mine didn't either.
but I
Yeah.
gotta look up to see if there is the name of the school, because I think that would be, I'll again more authenticating a hall pass. Uh, but yeah, so and so high school, and a picture of me, probably with the claws, as opposed to Nancy and I running into each other, or me being on the ground, and then some saying underneath that. That sounds like a really funny idea.
I think it would be a hit. I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I wonder, as opposed to an 8 by 10. Well, now I'm wondering how much all this would cost is to get a lanyard, and sign the hall pass and put it, in the lanyard.
Oh, wow. There you go. That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, it was wonderful having you come on here today and talk with me and celebrate 40 years of Freddie and 40 years of hall passes. It's funny because you're 39 years old, so I don't know how that happens, but
I was a I was a I was a stunt babe. I don't know if you ever watched uh like the first seasons of SNL, Saturday Night Live, but
mhm.
I think there was Buster the Stunt Baby or something like that. So I'll say I was a stunt baby. I was a stunt baby when I did Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, no, but nonetheless, oh, we're getting joined here. Look at the
Oh,
Skittles.
well, well, you can't show one cat without whoops. Uh,
Ah, yes.
he's sleeping, but
Look at that, kitty. Look at that,
that
Skittles.
is the
Or
main
look at
thing.
that. Yes, we all like kitty cats on here. Yes.
Yeah. She said you woke me up. Now she
You,
said, okay, are you
yeah,
gonna lay down?
yeah.
Or did I wake you up? Okay. So I think there's I don't know if there was a cat day and an international cat day, but yesterday or the day before was one cat day, and in October is another cat day. So we have fulfilled the cat day now.
There you go. There you go. Well, before I let you go, would you mind doing a plug for my show?
Uh oh. Quick,
Just state your name and say you're listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
say that again. Python.
Python's Paradise. Just state your name and say you're listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
Hi, this is Leslie Hoffman, and you're listening to Greg Gilbert on Python. Uh oh. I love
Paradise.
Take two. Python what again?
Paradise.
Paradise. Hi, this is Leslie Hoffman, and you're listening to Greg Gilbert on Python Paradise. This is a podcast worth listening to.
And
Hi.
folks, don't forget your hall pass as
Right.
we're
Don't
celebrating.
forget your hall pass.
Yeah, as we celebrate 40 years of A Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, you might have to put your foot down on Heather Langenkamp, because, not only did she not have her hall pass, she gave you attitude.
Well, or Robert and I can have a fight with the claws. I have he and I have reproductions of the claws, and the beginning of this year, I actually had someone help me make a reproduction of the sweater. So I do well. You said to promote things. So when I'm at conventions, I can do a photo op wearing the so-called original sweater with the glove with a fan.
Yep, photo op. Yep, absolutely.
But like you say, as the hall guard, as opposed to just Leslie Hoffman standing next to you.
Hmm. Well, hopefully I'll be able to meet you at a convention. Um, my schedule is more complicated now, but we shall see. We shall see. But nonetheless, I'll keep throwing your name out to these conventions, and hopefully we'll get you at more of them.
Ah, I'd love it. Like I say, I love meeting the horror fans. I love meeting the Star Trek fans, or out of nowhere someone said, you were great in the car. I said, you saw that movie? Well, you even brought up like Hero at Large. You hear movies that you go, people remember the names of those movies. I mean,
Yeah,
so everybody has their likes, and it's fun sharing memories, and without fans watching these movies or television shows, uh I wouldn't exist today, or I'm being remembered, and I appreciate that so much.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, Leslie, we bid you a wonderful day, and peace be with you. And yeah, I hope these conventions coming up will serve you some great memories.
I hope so. I'm sure they will. And I'll be
Absolutely.
posting lots of pictures as I go to these different conventions, especially Ireland is going to be so interesting. Again, a country I've never seen before. So it's going to be fascinating uh to be in a different country. I mean, uh what can I say? I mean, I'm not putting down. I've been to Pennsylvania. I've been to, these other states, but to actually be in a different country is just so exciting.
Absolutely. Well, Leslie, I want to bid you a wonderful day and you cuddle with your kitty tonight.
Oh, I will. Well, hopefully, let's. Oh, yep, she passed out again. She's still on the bed. It's nighttime. She said, "I'm done." Which is strange because when she was maybe a month younger, uh, I'd be asleep and she'd dance on my back. You
So it
know,
is.
and sometimes with the claws out, a kitten. I
Yep,
mean,
absolutely. Well, you have yourself a wonderful day. You
yeah,
take care and God bless you. And yes, A Nightmare on Elm Street celebrating its 40th anniversary. And you're going to make sure everybody has their hall pass, or at least they
right.
must have.
I gotta really start working on that idea and see what I can come up with. Like I say, I like the idea of a possible lanyard and a card that I can sign and slip into they really will have a hall pass.
I think that's a great idea.
I don't
I
think
think that's a great
obviously it
idea.
hasn't been done before because I can't think of any other movie that you know characters had to wear something around their neck like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, you take care. God bless you, and we will be in touch. I'll send this to you when it's ready.
Okay. See ya.
Take
And
care, Leslie.
Star Trek people, you got to do this too. Uh-oh.
I don't know how to do that. Bye bye.
Bye, Greg.